A week ago, everything was peaceful in the city of Los Angeles and in all of the representatives behind me in their cities as well. Things began to be difficult on Friday when raids took place, and it's important that I begin there because that is the cause of the problems that have happened in the city of Los Angeles and other cities. This was provoked by the White House. The reason why, we don't know. I posit that maybe we are part of a national experiment to determine how far the federal government can go in reaching in and taking over power from a governor, power from a local jurisdiction, and frankly, leaving our city and our citizens, our residents, in fear. All of us represent cities in this region where immigrants are key, and if in some cases not the majority of the population. To have people live in fear like it is today is just unacceptable. So we started off by hearing the administration wanted to go after violent felons, gang members, drug dealers. But when you raid Home Depots and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you're not trying to keep anyone safe. You're trying to cause fear and panic. And when you start deploying federalized troops on the heels of these raids, it is a drastic and chaotic escalation and completely unnecessary. Let me just say that of the leaders that are standing here, whether a raid took place in your city or not, it's the sense of fear that is spread when these raids take place. And I think everybody here knows that maybe today it was the city of Los Angeles, tomorrow it's one of your cities. When this type of chaotic behavior from Washington, D.C. is forced upon a city, upon all of our cities, then again the fear and the terror that is in our populations is profound and very traumatizing.
And I'm Doug Halter, Deputy Mayor of the City of Ventura, and this is absolutely unconscionable what's going on. I had never thought in my life that I would be seeing this sort of disruption and this sort of terrorism attack on our citizens, on our community, on our residents, our friends, our family, our neighbors, our workers, our employers. Everything that impacts one part of our community impacts all of us. This has got to stop. We've been asking for comprehensive immigration reform for at least 30 years. Now, if he really wants to be a hero, get on it and get it done. And leave our people alone, because we will fight and we defend them. They're part of our community. They will always be a part of our community.
I know yesterday you spoke about trying to contact President Trump. Were you able to make any contact at all or anyone in the administration?
I have actually a call in the next few minutes, not with him, but to get that call set up. Well, yeah, that I want to speak to the president and that I want him to understand the significance of what is happening here. You know, there are reports that if all of the military that have been designated to be deployed, if you add them all up, it's more military than are serving today in Iraq. And the money that is being spent, $130 million, all of our cities could use that money. I have not heard that. I've not heard of anybody being booked under that. You know, we established a curfew last night, and there were over 100 arrests, but they weren't for looting. They weren't for vandalism. They were for failure to disperse, as well as a curfew violation. So what I'm hoping is that people got the message that we're serious, and we won't even have those arrests tonight.
And what do you think about the rioting terminology?
Well, let me just tell you that the picture that is attempted to being portrayed, and all of us are impacted by this. If you look at TV and you see people who are demonstrating, some inappropriately, some violently, which I believe that anybody that's involved in violence or looting or vandalism is not supporting the cause of immigrants. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing that because they know that that can trigger an even greater reaction from the administration. And so that is a picture you'd know in downtown Los Angeles because we are here. You know that this is isolated to several streets in downtown Los Angeles. The curfew that we put in place yesterday is about 6 square miles of a city that is 500 square miles. else. So the portrayal is that all of our cities are in chaos, rioting is happening everywhere, and it is a lie.
Clearly, you don't want the National Guard or the Marines here, but
they're not needed.
yeah, but
There was no line of communication with the Marines. The line of communication is with the federalized National Guard, and you know they have one mission here, and that is to protect one building downtown. They weren't needed for that then, they're not needed now. When we did the curfew last night, it was all local law enforcement.
Is this curfew order going to be extended? You had said it first, you'd review it today, potentially a few more days.
Well, yes.
Maybe a hope.
So let me just say that the emergency declaration that I signed yesterday does not have a time limit to it. And so the curfews will go on as long as they are needed. But you know, it's really kind of interdependent on what the response is from the federal side. If there are raids that continue, if there are soldiers marching up and down our street, I would imagine that the curfew will continue.